point of
Okay.
Honorable.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I am Honorable Saad, the member for Fino. Mr. Speaker, sir, as usual, I don't like joining choruses. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm contributing to the Constitutional Amendment 2020 bill. I would like to go my way, which is, Mr. Speaker, I would like to oppose, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have my own reasons, Mr. Speaker. While I find some blessings in the document, which is that Mandela shall be getting an extra constituency, I find it as a pearl. But what matters more is what we are going to lose. I had, before I begin with mine, Mr. Speaker, I had a member say that we shall get 6 billion extra. It's true. But the 6 billion extra is still our right. If you have been checking around and you've been reading, the CRA formula is already out. We are losing 2 billion, it is clear. There's no negotiation about that. Now, you should question, as honorable members, we should question ourselves. That 5, I don't need information, Mr. Speaker.
To the House, Mr. Speaker, point of information to the House.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want the honorable member for Finno to clarify to this House and convince this House that we are going to lose 2 billion shillings in this House. Let him convince us. We are not convinced.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. God has given me a gift of the gap. I will not stammer. Mr. Speaker, sir, what I know is I am actually privy to the CRA formula that is under review right now. That's where it is indicated. Now, what I want to inform my honorable brothers here and sisters is that the fact remains that 5% may or may not come. I will not be like those people who will say the 15% is already a problem. No. I will ask that the 35%, shall it come with the increment or with the transfer of more functions? Did we ask ourselves that? 35% to come with the functions we have now is a blessing, yes. But when it comes with the functions tantamount to the strength of the 35 million, what are we there to celebrate for? I will go to the next, Mr. Speaker, sir, which I should have begun with. Mr. Speaker, the BBI is what led to this constitutional amendment, Mr. Speaker, sir. In addressing matters, it looked at the challenges that this country is facing. Amongst the numerous challenges that were named, prime amongst them was the presidency, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the presidency was a challenge in the fact that it is the center of power and a key to polarized elections. Mr. Speaker, sir, I expected the document to address the presidency by reducing its powers so that it lacks or lessens in being a coveted document, Mr. Speaker, sir. I mean, a coveted position, Mr. Speaker, sir. This will actually raise that behavior in Kenyans that they do not clamor for it that much, because as it is now, all power is vested with the presidency. Once it's vested with the presidency, everybody who wants the presidency will do whatever it takes, including all vices and ills, to get it, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, and then, that is not enough, Mr. Speaker, sir. If it was lessened, yes, people, if the person who misses to clean the presidency would have had something else to settle for. But now, Mr. Speaker, sir, this document mentions a prime minister, Mr. Speaker, sir. We had a prime minister sometimes back, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I respect the former prime minister and I respect the presidency, Mr. Speaker, but what is the truth is the fact that this document suggests a prime minister that is the same as it was last time when Baba used to complain that all power is vested with the presidency, Mr. Speaker, sir. We will not again listen to complaints. Can you promise me that? You cannot. It's the same thing, Mr. Speaker, sir. And it's not a better bargain or a position of compromise to the presidency in such a way that when someone does not get to the moon, he will agree to land on the stars. Someone who misses the coveted position of the presidency that contains all power, my friends, will not settle. Will not settle for the prime minister. It's not a solution. The challenge is not solved.
You have 2 minutes to summarize.
10 minutes?
Two.
My God. This is because of a vote that has been lessened. Mr. Speaker, sir, okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this amendment bill has brought some things that actually are very, very unnecessary. Things that this constitution, our beautiful constitution, has taken care of, Mr. Speaker, sir. For those of you who are friends to the constitution, Article 2 or 3 of the constitution mentions the fact that counties should get a minimum of 15%. What does that tell you? That definitely tells you that the national government can give the counties, as long as they do not transgress or jaywalk on the recurrent, they can as well give it everything, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I see it as a duplication, Mr. Speaker, and which is not necessary. Mr. Speaker, and the last thing, Mr. Speaker, allow me 1 more minute to summarize. Mr. Speaker,
No, you'll have your 10 minutes.
am I done? Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.